tear their ass up. Simple as that.
Missing someone, love with all your heart. Missing someone, love with heart. How much you miss it, and you deserve. Right from the start, and you did right from the start. Missing someone is as normal. Missing someone.
Well, what's going on, Citizen Youth? Pastor Brandon, Pastor Roman here. So glad you guys are with us tonight. It's going to be a great night, man.
Yeah, I hope you guys are hanging in there. I hope you're not just surviving, but you're thriving.
Thriving. Let's
Come on.
go. Just crushing this whole weird season of life.
Yeah.
Glad you guys are with us, though. Hey, tonight, here's the thing. We're watching on YouTube. Maybe you're on Facebook Live, like on your mom's Facebook. I don't know. But we want you guys to just like blow up the comments section. We want you to see you all over that thing. And so we're actually going to start right now.
Yes.
We want to know. What do we want to know?
We want to know, pizza rolls or bagel bites? Go ahead, comment it in the comment section, whatever live stream you are streaming from. We want to know, do you like pizza rolls?
Yes.
Or bagel bites?
Let's get a battle going.
I think I like bagel bites.
See, I'm going to go pizza rolls,
Let's
bro.
give them like 15 seconds. 15 seconds starting now.
Right now.
Type them in. Go.
Let's see what you got.
I'm bagel bites.
I'm going to go pizza rolls.
Why?
I don't
Back it up.
know.
Okay.
I think it's just all my mom bought
Bagel
me
bites, you
growing
get the
up.
whole experience. It's like you're actually eating a pizza roll. It's more of like
but
what are those things called?
If I want to actually eat a pizza, I'm just going to actually eat a pizza.
What are those things called?
What?
I
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Who does? Okay.
Drop in the section if you know what I mean.
That's probably enough. I have no idea what he's talking about. Hey, but for real, guys, we think tonight's going to be incredible. We're so excited for the conversation that we're going to have with our students and the message you're going to hear tonight. So keep leaving comments. If you like anything, don't be afraid to comment and let us know how you're feeling.
Yes, and then right after, we're going into our Zoom groups. So make sure if you have not yet, download Zoom. It's very important to the night because that's how we go into the Zoom group aspect of a Tuesday night experience.
Yes.
So download Zoom groups. You don't want to miss out.
Yeah, stick around 15 minutes after the message. It's going to be awesome. Again, so glad you guys are here. Let's have some fun tonight. Welcome to Citizen Youth.
People want you to go down to a certain level, but you have a certain standard that you set for yourself or your parents or your coaches that they set for you, and you always want to live up to those so you don't disappoint people. And I feel like that pressure comes from the fear of disappointing other people.
Pressure pushing down on me, pressing down on you. No man has fall.
So some of the pressures that I feel in my life as an athlete is to perform the way that my coaches and parents expect me to. Another way is just as a son to honor my parents in everything I do. And, you know, as a Christian, just to be light into the world.
I think that sometimes I struggle with the pressure of being myself at school, not only at school, but like, you know, just during normal life. You know, the society we live in obviously wants a lot of us to be what they expect us to be, and I think that a lot of the pressure that I feel is more so just being the person that I've like you said that I've been taught to be, and the person that I want to be.
There's people want you to go down to a certain level, but you have a certain standard that you set for yourself or your parents or your coaches that they set for you, and you always want to live up to those so you don't disappoint people. And I feel like that pressure comes from the fear of disappointing other people.
And kind of going off of what Dom was saying, you know, the pressure of, you know, acting myself. You know, at school, it's hard when I'm posting on my story about Bible Club and stuff like that. But then I might be associated with people that are a lot more of the world than just being in the world like we're called to be. And, you know, there's just it's hard to balance all of that in high school. And, you know, by posting something about just being a Christian on my story, that automatically makes me a target. And, you know, I've gotten comments from kids at school about it, and, you know, are Christians supposed to act like this? Are they supposed to be even around these kids at school? And it's like, well, you know, I'm called to be a light. So there's the pressure right there.
Or the pressure of just being out there, like getting out there to kids at school. It's definitely hard based on what your reputation is. Like for me personally, I'm not this huge popular person. And so for me to get out there and talk to people all the time, just about like certain things, like things in church or just in general. It's hard for me to be out there and talk to people. And so sometimes I feel like I'm pressured to, you know, get out there, but it's hard when people look at you like they don't look at like other people, like when you're that quiet kid in the class, you know, who reads all the time, and people don't listen to kids like that, you know, so it's hard to put yourself out there when nobody will pay attention.
I agree with what you were saying as well. Is just because you have people around you and they want you to go against like your morals and what you believe in, and just so like you kind of fit in with their group. So I mean, they don't want you to be yourself. They want you to go and fit in with them, which you have to stand by what you believe in.
When dealing with peer pressure, depending on who it comes from, for me, that's how easy or difficult it's gonna be. Because if it's someone that I really care about, then it's gonna be very difficult, especially if it's something I'm not willing to do, which sometimes it really messes with your head, because then you feel like once that person's got control over you, you can't stop them from doing anything.
Yeah, well, and like kind of going off what you were saying, you know, if I'm getting peer pressure from someone that, you know, I'm in a class with them at school or something like that, but I'm not close friends with them, it's easy to, you know, turn them down and not go out to their car during school and do stuff I shouldn't. But you know, if it's a close friend that I'm either training with or I've grown up with, or you know, I'm just always around, it is a lot harder to turn that person down and say no, just because one, you don't want to ruin that friendship at all, but two, it's just because you two are always around each other, you're very similar at that point, and you have very similar beliefs, and it's, you know, if they're doing it, then maybe I should be doing it.
I feel that like if you're like really close to a person, if they ask you to do something like bad, it's harder because you're like close with them and you're like, you don't want to hurt their feelings, but like you gotta like stick to what you believe. And if it ruins your friendship, then that's what's gonna have to come.
It really tests your faith and what you believe in and who you hang out with. Like, it really shows you who your real friends are whenever it comes to peer pressure, because you know those real friends will stick up for you. They can see that you're uncomfortable and you don't want to do something, but some other people will just be friends with you to get you to do something for them.
I feel like the pressures I put on myself, they cause me to kind of like put doubt on myself, and it makes me feel like I'm not good enough for people. And when I doubt myself, it makes me like I'm pressured to like be someone I'm not.
I know that you two for sure know this, and I don't know about you guys with sports, but I mean, for me, it's more so the pressure is like, what do I want to do with my life? Like, what do I want to do in college? I know both of you guys already know where you're gonna go and everything, but like for me, it's more so like, I mean, I feel the pressure from you know, my family, my friends, people that I've known throughout my life, just of, you know, what's next. And I don't know, it's definitely hard to navigate and hard to go through, but I think that's something I struggle with for sure.
Some of the pressures I definitely put on myself falls in the category of looks and body type, and social media is a big part of that. Like if I see somebody on Instagram or TikTok or Snapchat with this perfect body, this beautiful face, you know, it's very hard because you put that pressure on yourself. It's like, this is what I need to look like to get a boyfriend. This is what I need to look like to get popular. It's very hard because then it makes you down on yourself. It gives you insecurities, and it's really hard to work that off, putting all that pressure on yourself. But it's also hard knowing that, you know, you are perfect just the way you are. But like at the same time, you have this whole society telling you, no, you need to look just like that.
Yeah, and I think for me, you know, on the athletic side of things, you know, even if there isn't pressure that's implied towards me from my coach or my parents or my teammates, you know, I still assume there is, and Starting this year, I had to go to a sports psychologist just to learn how to get over that kind of stuff. The mental game is a huge part in athletics. And then, in home life, the pressure of my parents doing all the things they do for me, and in return, I'm just a student athlete right now, and it's hard to feel like I'm giving back to them the way that, I feel like I should.
Yeah, kind of going off what you said too is just you feel like people are feeling so down on yourself, but really you're the one that's tearing yourself down the most. And I mean, people, they're standing up for you, but you're the one that's tearing yourself down, and you don't know how to handle it because you just put so much pressure on yourself when it's not even other people, it's just yourself.
We convince ourselves that people are talking down about us when they really aren't. And we should really believe what people tell us when they're trying to lift us up. Because sometimes it really messes us up. And it takes a lot for us to admit it.
Like I said earlier, I started seeing a sports psychologist, but then, that's for my athletics. But then for my own life, I started going to a therapist. And it's just to just find different ways to approach these problems that, most of the time we aren't taught, and how to break these things down easier for us to understand, and, just to face them head on. Being open with my parents about the pressure that I thought they were putting on me, when in reality they just wanted the best for me and they were just trying to provide that for me. Just being open with them about that definitely helped my situation a lot.
Some things that I do to help myself is sometimes I sit in my room alone, or read the Bible, or sometimes I cry to myself, or I text my friends and try to feel like someone. I need to feel feel loved for a little. So I talk to my friends for a while, or just stay to myself.
Friends have definitely helped me through a lot of things. My parents is a big one. I feel it's easier to talk to friends sometimes because they're going through almost the exact same thing. But it is hard to admit to yourself that you need help because, sometimes you just want to bottle everything inside. But you just have to take the courage to, talk to people, because it really does help, because without my friends or my parents, I don't know where I'd be.
What's up, Citizen Youth? Pastor Delaney here, and I'm so excited to continue in this discussion, talking about what do you think? Today we're going to be looking at the subject of pressure. And as young people, this is a time of life where for so many of us, this season of life is defined by pressure, right? Pressures to succeed, pressure to perform, pressure to meet expectations, pressure to live out a certain role, pressure to keep up with people around you. But here's the problem with pressure. Pressure will cause us to get caught up in comparison, looking to the right and to the left and seeing what other people are doing and feeling like we're not measuring up, and so we need to keep up with what's happening around us. The other problem with pressure is that it can make you feel like a failure before you even get started. You can get so caught up and consumed with the pressures of this life that feel like they're caving in on you, that you can begin to believe that you're never going to make it and you're never going to cut it. But here's the thing about pressure. It can either work for you or against you. It all depends on how you choose to steward it. So today I want to give you 2 notes when it comes to pressure. And the first is this: pressure is predictable. Here's the truth. You have to learn to expect pressure. Whether you like it or not, it's coming in your life. And I think we've all lived long enough to know that this is true. The Bible backs this up. It says in 1 Peter 4, "Dear friends, do not be surprised at the fiery ordeal that has come on you to test you, as though something strange were happening to you. but rejoice inasmuch as you participate in the sufferings of Christ, so that you can be overjoyed when his glory is revealed. It's important that we're not caught off guard by pressure, because if we are, we won't know how to handle it when it does inevitably come. And so it's important for us to always remember that pressure is predictable. Here's the second thing about it. Pressure is powerful. Yeah, at times pressure can feel like it's causing you to just drown in all the things that people expect of you. But here's the truth. Pressure is powerful. Pressure can cause you to feel a lot of stress, but it can also create diamonds. Pressure launches rockets. Pressure can be a powerful and productive force for your good if you learn to steward it and use it to benefit your life. I love what James 1:2-4 says. It says, "Consider it a sheer gift, friends, when tests and challenges come at you from all sides. You know that under pressure, your faith life is forced into the open and shows its true colors. So don't try to get out of anything prematurely. Let it do its work so you become mature and well-developed, not deficient in any way." I love what James is saying, because he's saying pressure is actually a gift. What pressure does is it forces you to actually live out your faith and put your money where your mouth is. So this is an amazing opportunity for us to use the gift of pressure to grow and to step up to the plate in life in ways that we maybe never could have done before. Pressure is a powerful force for you. So we know that pressure is predictable. It's coming whether we like it or not. We also know that pressure is powerful. So then how do we steward it and have pressure work for us and not against us? Here's the thing. I think we need to learn to prioritize our pressures. You know, when it comes to the pressures in your life, I think oftentimes this is what our priority list of pressures look like. Number one is the pressure to please people, right? For so many of us, this tops our list. We feel the pressure to please our parents, to please teachers, to please coaches, to please your friends, people at school. And for so many of us, this tops our list of priorities. Maybe for you, you have at the top of your list of priorities the pressure to keep up with people around you. Maybe that's people on your team or people in your class, people in your friend group, but you feel that pressure, and that's the number one priority on your list. Or maybe it's the pressure to keep up appearances, doing everything in your power to maintain the facade of everything being good, your life being perfect, having no problems. Meanwhile, everything looks very different underneath the surface. You know, I want to ask you today, can you have a moment of introspection and ask yourself, where does the pressure to please God fall on that list? Is it at the top of your list, or does it fall somewhere down to 5, 6, 7 on your list? We need to understand the most important pressure that we can feel, and the Bible actually tells us that it's a light burden to carry. The best pressure that we can feel is only the pressure to please God. I love what Galatians 1:10 says. It says, "Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God?" Can you ask yourself that same question today? With all the pressures that you wear in life, pressures to perform, pressures to meet expectations, do you wear those pressures out of a need to please people or out of a need to please God? The author continues by saying, "If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ." In other words, if all of your life is oriented around how you can please people and how you can meet those pressures to please other people around you, then guess what you're not doing? You're not living your life in submission and obedience to Christ, because all you're worried about is meeting the pressures and expectations of the people around you. You know, I think for so many of us, we put so much weight on what people think of us, and all we care about is making sure that people like us and care about us, respect us, admire us, and find us worthy. But can I tell you, if you place all of your weight and all of your value on what people think about you, you're always going to be left feeling like you don't have enough. I love this quote from one of my favorite authors. She says that man's praise is like cotton candy. It's sugar-laden and insubstantial. In other words, the praise from man might be sweet in this moment, but it goes away after time, and you have to continue pursuing that thing that will always leave you feeling empty. But can I tell you, there's one source where you can always find fulfillment and peace, and that's an understanding that you are known, loved, and approved by God. And if we can choose to find this as our source of fulfillment and strength, then nothing else in this world will satisfy us, rightfully so. You know, I think for all of us, we need to learn to reprioritize our pressure. And the top of our list, the only thing that should matter to us is the pressure to please God. You know, I love how the Bible talks about pleasing God as a light burden. The burden that Jesus offers us is an easy burden to carry. And yeah, it's a pressure. We want to please God. We want to live our life in a way that honors him, that respects him, that causes others to turn their attention to him. But it's a light burden to carry because what it does is it produces fruit in our life beyond our wildest dreams. So you know what I love? The most beautiful thing about being found in Christ is that the pressure is not on your performance. That weight isn't on your shoulders. The pressure isn't, on you. If I don't do the best job, if I preach a mediocre sermon, if I fumble over my words, if I fail a test, if I don't meet the mark or the expectation that I've set for myself, the pressure's off me. And that's the most freeing thing in the world. If the only pressure that I feel and the only thing I'm concerned about meeting is the pressure to please God, to honor him with my life, and to pursue a life of righteousness that looks after his example, then I'm going to be okay. And that's an incredibly freeing thought. The pressure is off you. So remember, we need to not focus so much on what people think about us, not worry about meeting expectations. The only thing that we need to prioritize in our life is the pressure to please God. Would you bow your heads with me? Let's pray together. God, thank you so much for this truth and for this burden that you've given us that is light, that is easy to carry, and that is the burden of pleasing you, Lord, of living a life that chases after you, that seeks to emulate your example. I pray for every student and leader that's listening to this, Lord, that you will free them of the pressures of feeling the need to perform and keep up and measure up, Lord, and you will replace that with the perfect peace of knowing that they are already known, loved, and accepted by you. Thank you for this truth. We love you so much, Jesus, and it's in your name we pray. Amen. Love you guys. We'll see you guys soon.
Hey guys, well thank you so much for joining us tonight. Don't go anywhere. We still have our Zoom groups coming up, so make sure that you stick around. It's so easy. In a few minutes, there'll be a couple of ID numbers that'll pop up on your screen. You just plug that into your app. Again, so easy, so much fun. We want to stay connected with you guys. So make sure you're texting a couple friends to hop in a Zoom group with you. And again, we love you guys. We miss you guys like crazy, and we'll see you in a few minutes.